In today's video, we're taking a look at how to fix or repair your weed trimmer's blade, easy and simple. It's so easy, anyone could do. Everything that we use on the video, we're gonna leave a link on the description. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. That does help us out a lot. Thank you. So you woke up today and notice it's trimming day. You said to yourself, let me go back to sleep. Not today. If that's not enough, you went to turn on your weed eater and you notice your string and your trimmer were at war. And the line was winning by a big margin. Don't worry. Here at the StatUpBox team, we've got your back. The first thing that you wanna do is locate your string trimmer. The second thing that you want to do is throw it in the garbage. I mean, safety is the #1 thing. We want to go ahead and place it on a flat surface because the last thing you want on a clear sunny day is to die. In this particular case, we're missing the entire blade. If you want to check out our video on how to replace the blade, we'll leave a link on the description. Or our other video on how to hone and sharpen the blade, we'll leave links in the description. So as you can see, the string trimmer lost this battle. It lost the arm on the fight, but you're gonna help it a little bit. And meanwhile, we leave the patient on the emergency bed. What we want to do is locate a thin, flat piece of metal. In this case, we're just using another blade from another string trimmer that we bought online. We'll leave links in the description. And we chose this one because it was easily available by one click. Later on the video, we're gonna show you how you can take a small piece of metal and sharpen it to use it as a blade. In some string trimmers, this L-shaped blade will work right out the box. As you can see, it has holes that you can screw directly to the chassis, and we're going to show that later on in the video. But right now, what we want to do is make two parts out of this. We want to flatten it, and the easiest way is to place it on a vise or any gripping device. And what we're going to do is using a jaw pressure plier, grab as much metal as we can and give it the old wiggle side to side dancing action until the metal becomes weak and it snaps. What we want to make sure that we don't do is grab it or damage the sharp side. And remember always to use safety because today you don't want to go away. And now you've done it. You broke the blade and you broke the string trimmer. If you notice in the multiplying process, it's not flat. We can take a hammer, tap it a few times on both sides until we get something close enough. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. The only thing that we want to do is cut the trimmer line. But let's say in your particular case, you have a piece of metal that you found lying around, or you're either on your second use of this part, one of the sides had holes and the other didn't. Then what we want to do is create holes that we can tap in with some screws or bolts to the chassis. So we're going to go ahead and place them back on the grip or any holding surface of your choosing, or how we like to call a Watson that holds it down with some pliers on the other side. We're going to take our drill and a metal drilling bit and make some holes on it. Remember, you want to compare the drill bit to the size of screw or bolts and nuts that you're going to use. In some cases, you might need washers if the hole's too big. Always remember to mark and measure your metal to the string trimmer. The last thing you want is to make some holes, go fit it on your string trimmer, and they're way off. But let's say in your case, it's a push-in system that you can still use, or in the case of building your own blade like we're doing, you might have chipped or damaged the sharpened side. We can always sharpen it using some sanding equipment. In this case, we're using a rotary tool, but you can always do this manually as well. Sometimes just honing the blade like we would do a knife would do the job, because sometimes the only thing the blade has is some bends, and just taking a flathead screwdriver and flattening it and straightening it is enough. So now comes the second part of the process, and that is mounting and securing the blade in place to do the job. In this particular case, we do have a small tab or bump that we're going to remove with a cutting wheel from our rotary tool. You can also use a utility knife. Always remember to have safety because today is not that day. So depending on how thick the walls of your string trimmer chassis are, you can usually take small screws and just screw right into the plastic, and this would be suffice. But because of the shaking and vibration and the bumping around of the string trimmer's life cycle, we believe that bolts and nuts is the way to go. Even though the screw would be easier because you could screw right into the plastic, when when using the bolts and nuts, you would have to pre-drill some holes according to the size of the bolt and nut that you have, and then be able to slide it in place. We like to place washers on the other side to create a tighter seal, because remember, vibrations moving around, the hole could get bigger. You can always place some thread locker on the bolts to secure it from loosening. Just remember that it would be a lot harder to remove in the future. But on the other hand, remember you can always sharpen the blade, having it in place in the string trimmer. There are no rules of engagement in this battle. We're gonna take our pliers and make sure that it's tight, because the last thing we want is flying blades all over the place. We'll leave that one for another video. In this particular case, the only bolts and nuts that we had were a little bit longer. So we're gonna take our cutting off tool from our rotary tool and cut them off. You can always do this the manual way. Always remember to use different arms to get an even pump. And now you've done it. You revived Frankenstein and became a master line destroyer of your generation. Don't forget, if you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. That really helps. If you have any questions, place them in the comment section below. Either someone on the StatUpBox team or someone on the YouTube community can help you out with an answer. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on social media. Thank you for watching, and here's a link to our latest video.